All right, can I catch a limit of fish today? That's the goal. If I can't, I'm gonna shave down to a mustache. All right, as you can tell, I haven't exactly gotten an early morning pre-dawn start, but that was intentional. I want to fish this falling tide, and it's falling really hard right now. That's the good news. The bad news is that the water's dirty. Don't know why, but it's dirty. Everywhere I've gone to, it's dirty. So I'm gonna try and push way back into the marsh and see if I can find some better water. That should be the case with this hard falling tide. As you can tell, it's an absolutely gorgeous day. I mean, it's just perfect. Perfect. Hardly any wind. And this time of year, when there's not a lot of wind, what there is a lot of is gnats. And they are tormenting me. Now I'm at the mouth of a bayou, a little small bayou that drains into a bigger bayou. It's really kind of a ditch. It's not much of a bayou that I'm going into, but it drains a pond in the back. I saw it on my GPS. This is the type of stuff I love to fish, so I'll take a crack at it. I'm hoping as I get deeper in here, this water will clean up. Now for my little personal competition, me against the fish, I just got to catch a limit of any species. But that's a lofty goal here in South Louisiana, because the limit on bass is 10, limit on redfish is 5, and the limit on speckled trout is 25. All right, this water's not getting any better, and I just don't really like it. I love this bayou. It's got 9 feet of depth in these bends, but I just don't like this water. I'm gonna move on. No confidence. Gotta find some better water. All right, I pushed a little bit farther back into the marsh. I'm happy to report the water looks a good bit better. I can see my bait probably 1.5 feet down, maybe 2 feet. As you can see, there's a bunch of grass in here. Probably what's got that water so pretty, so filtered. It's not perfect. It's definitely not perfect water, but it's certainly fishable. Better than what we left. I'm definitely encouraged. Got a little tiny ditch here. I don't know if I can fit in here or not. I love fishing little ditches. Oh, shoot. There was a fish. Ooh. Very pretty water coming out of this ditch. That's what I was looking for. Water that looks like that. Gorgeous. All right, it tells me as this tide continues, this water's really gonna clean up, and it's really nice. This ditch is literally the width of my boat. Now there is a pond in the back of it, so I should be able to turn around. So otherwise I'd have to be push-pulling backwards out of here, which I've done before in other areas, but it's not fun. All right, I just screwed up. There's a ton of bass right here at this mouth, and I just spooked them all. Oh, goodness. There's a million. There's a million bass. They're all going crazy because I spooked them. I could have caught my limit right here at this mouth. Been throwing the Holy Jolly Matrix Shad. Have not gotten a bite on it. This was the hottest bait last time. You got to figure them out every day, though. There's still a pile of bass here. They're just not feeding. They're not eating. I don't know why. I'm chasing them all into the pond. Wow. It's beautiful bass too. This water's absolutely gin clear. I don't know if you can tell. All right, this pond's not deep enough to float my boat. We gotta turn around. We've been making a mess. Gonna have to break out the push pole. It's the danger of exploring. Sometimes you get rimrocked, and we are. We have made a mess in here. We're gonna go find some fish somewhere else. All right, stop number 3. Also some really beautiful water. Almost as good as what we left. There's a fish. That's a big old bass. All right. That is a big bass. That's a big marsh bass. Look at that. That's fish number 1 of my Pro's Choice in black and blue. It's in black and blue water, but it works. Pretty fish. Man, look how pretty that fish is. Love it. I'm not keeping fish today, so he gets to swim again. He tattooed that bait. Very good sign. Ooh, there he is. There he is. All right. Bass number 2. Bass number 2. It's also a really nice fish. Hooked on top of the head. Ooh, right in the eye. See you around, dude. He stole my black blue Pro's choice. I'm gonna put on this crab boil. Completely different color. Probably stupid to go this route, but I'll know pretty shortly whether or not they want this color or not. This does seem like a more appropriate color for this water, which is really nice. By the way, I tried to get Joel to do the stash challenge with me. He wouldn't do it. I forgot to tell you some of the details. You have to let the stash grow for 10 days, and you have to post a picture every day on social media. I don't know what Joel thinks he has to worry about, because he wins all the challenges. Ooh, oh, he done took it all. I switched back to the black and blue. Got hit almost immediately. That's the color today, apparently. So interesting how that changes. Ooh, there he is. All right. Fish number 3, black and blue, is the ticket today. Let me tell you, it's kind of crazy. Kind of crazy. See you, big boy. Most anglers would never look at this water and say, you need to throw black and blue. And I get it. I mean, I get it. I just know this color works. This and June bug in these marshes doesn't work every day. Some days that crab oil or that clear conscience is better, definitely. But some days they just want this color. There he is. Boy, did I give him a while. He was swimming at me. Oh, beautiful fish again. Beautiful marsh bass. That's fish number 4. Fish number 4. Such beautiful fish. I mean, they're all about a pound, maybe a little more. And he unfortunately wrecked my bait, but I got more. All right, just because I'm a constant tinkerer, I'm going with this red fog. Similar color. It's not quite as dark. It's a little bit translucent. We'll see if it works as well. If not, we'll go back to the black and blue. That fish hit the bait, swam right at me. Ooh. Ooh. Another one swimming right at, oh, shoot. Shoot. Bad hook set, he was swimming at me as well. I'm not even feeling him hit, just seeing the line moving. And that was on the red fog, so that's good. Maybe my first or second cast with the red fog. Another one swimming at me. Look at that. Now he's not quite as big, but he does count as fish number 5. Also on the red fog. Bite again next time. All right, I'm halfway to not having to look like Tom Selleck. Now I love fishing these ditches for a couple reasons. Number 1, nobody hits them. Anglers pretty much leave them alone, which means the fish that abide here are really dumb. They haven't seen any lures. They're very aggressive. Most days you can find out what they want and get them to hit. But I also like them on these falling tides because they drain those ponds. Typically the ponds are full of grass. Water in there gets really clean, and that clean water pulls through these ditches before it reaches the big water. Sometimes these ditches can be too clean, which was the issue at the previous stop, but this one's about perfect. And when this water gets low, and you can see we got a lot of exposed bank here, when the water gets low, these fish just concentrate in these ditches. You figure those ponds are full of fish, but that water gets so low, they're just really uncomfortable there. And so they pull out to this deeper water and they can get really concentrated. Now, you know, I wouldn't ever come into a ditch like this without a push pole. Wouldn't do it. Just not worth it. You have to spend the night until the tide comes back up. I've had to push myself out many times, and if I didn't have my push pole today, I'd be stuck in that first pond. Because believe me, this tide didn't get any higher. It's falling like God pulled the plug. Another one swimming at me. Oh, could not get a good hook set. I mean, these fish are hitting it and just swimming with that current. I don't even know they're on there. I just kind of go to pick it up again and there's just nothing there. That's 2 fish we lost. 2 fish that threw the hook for the same exact reason. Make a couple casts with this Holy Jolly just to see, keep them honest. There he is. Oh, is that a red or is it a big bass? I think it's a big bass. I threw back behind the boat where we'd already run. All right. Dude, how could you put up that kind of a fight? I know we were pulling you against that current, but you're not big. I mean, I don't mean to be insulting, but... All right, what is that? Number 6, I believe. 60% of the way there. That was on the Holy Jolly. All right, this pond is super shallow. We're gonna head back the other way. Super shallow. All right, now we're gonna fish our way out of the ditch. And as you might expect, it seldom is good on the way out. And I think that's because of 2 reasons. One, you spook a lot of the fish when you take this 19-foot UFO right over them. But also, you tend to catch the aggressive fish on your first pass. There he is. Oh, another miss. Oh. That's 3 fish I've missed, which really terrible percentage for bass. There's another one. Till we get you in the boat. All right, there we go. That's number 7. Number 7. All right. Now they're hitting this Jolly well, but what I've discovered, they definitely want this bait fished against the current. Obviously, I don't think it has anything to do with the color. Just the action of the bait just looks right to them against the current. Gotten several bites on it. Fishing it against the current, didn't get any bites fishing it with the current. Now I do think the color is playing a role in this water, even though this is like polar opposite of that black and blue. But this has been definitely the hot color this fall for sure. Another one, another one. All right, number 8. Number 8. 8 is great. Now I gotta try and get another one before that current pushes me over it. Definitely a few fish right there, which is the bend of this little ditch. You expect them to be right there. There he is. Oh. Oh, number 9. We got one more. One more fish. All right, come on. Don't let me down. Don't let me down. All right, I've reached the end of my ditch. It surrendered 9 fish to me, but not 10. It tried to. I just couldn't connect on 3 of them. At least 3, maybe 4. So now I'm gonna have to go, oh, that was a bite. Now I'm gonna have to go exploring and see if I can find one more fish. Just gotta find a ditch similar to that one. Similar water clarity, similar depth, similar width. All right, I found another ditch that's back in this marsh. It's a little bit difficult to get to, and we're in some super skinny water. Water's gorgeous, but I don't really want to run back there, not being familiar with that area. So I'm just gonna fish my way in, see if I can run across a red or a bass out here on the way. I'm throwing one of my favorite search baits, Gold H&H number 4 freshwater jig spinner. team with a 1/4 ounce Death Grip jig head and Shrimp Creole matrix shad. If I'm hunting for fish in the marsh, probably 90% of the time this is what I'm throwing. Allows you to fish really fast, and that's what I'm trying to do right now, just cover some water, get back to where I really want to focus. I'd love to catch a fish along the way. Now, of course, this is the lure Joel beat me with in our last challenge. I lost and was forced to wear an orange life jacket back at the marina. Joel caught a beautiful redfish on this bait. All right, that was the most alarmed I've ever been while fishing. I tried to get into that ditch. I had to cross a little pond to get into it. Front part of the pond had enough water for me to float. Back part did not. Don't have much wind, but what wind we did have, or do have, was pushing me into the back part of that pond, and I got completely stuck. Barely got myself out. I thought for sure I was gonna be spending tonight in this marsh waiting for this tide to come up, which would not be fun at all, because this tide is falling like a stone still. Whew, I'm very relieved. I'm not gonna push my luck the rest of the day because I'm exhausted. Just gonna have to try and catch a fish and some bigger stuff with a little bit more depth. If not, I'm gonna be growing a stash. One fish short. Made a mess of my boat, got my push pole out. You see the top of my trolling motor. I don't know how that happened, but it did. All right, that sun's getting kind of low. I gotta be heading home, but I think I know one place that I might be able to catch a bass, save myself from growing the stash. All right, I'm fishing these concrete pads in a channel that locals know as the Mississippi River Gulf Outlet. I've never fished these. I've always wanted to. Looks like they should hold some fish. Water definitely looks good. The depth is not great. I'm a cast away from the concrete pads, and it's 4.4 feet. Not terrible, but I'd like it to be a little deeper. Oh, there's a fish. Oh, it's a bass too. Look at this. Maybe my third cast. Oh, it's a good bass. All right, fish number 10. Ha ha! All right. Wow, he smoked it, man. He tattooed it. All right. Thank you, fish. Well, that didn't take long. All right, so I'm free from having to grow the mustache, but I'm still gonna try and talk Joel into doing the challenge with me. If you wanna see it, let us know in the comment section below. I think we can talk him into it, or at least shame him into it. If you enjoyed the video, please share it with somebody who you think would also like it. If you haven't done so yet, subscribe to the Marshman Masson channel on YouTube, and don't forget to hit the notification bell so you're notified whenever we post a new video. And until next time, if we don't see you in the marsh, we'll see you right here on Marshman Masson. Come on, bass, I'll take another one. I got no problem with 11.